Fantastic morning. Yamobia Kwaba, Mema Wakwaba. Ajebo, Jaranya Bedu. Yes, Nyasam Ketwakra, a Kwanway so na Yefa, Diamo Kwaba, Ediaba, a new show, Adom TV, so Sports Arena. Merenken Swansea Trase, Asasaka Bibia channel. Yabani Aba. Odim say, Yasheboy Diso, and Tiana Bibia Fa, good year home, a fee. Any amanone yachine kufu ni de ebrewo e wakasa fie so no ntomi na ye be sorry so enti bibia fa Champions League ho bibia fa la EPL la Liga Bundesliga Italian Serie A ni bibia AC won chen nyina no ye de ho enkomodie pa obeti ase ebrewo e wa Adom TV so de biara no do empire mo te abibia no atena TV so ahwe na elite kaka fa chen na fi na ekọ Saturday be at 10:30 yetena se the Sports Arena ana ade ebro me amedi dwumade wo chame ya from Kejwa Nankasa Eric Asiedu Bwede me producer Sergio Manucho head of sports Professor AK Wallace ana kwambia so ne yede dwumade ade ebro mabedwa for crowd dada my man Mustafa Hajidin and of course the man Mr. Seven Asari V Power omo ana efie neko many on bedi dwuma na bibia so atimi akọ enkan show no Sports Arena and a fair show more expectations is V Power.
Very cool. Many are just some part of this show, maiden edition, sending our kind, and of course, in your name, say Adom TV, multimedia, there, it's always the best. Internet, I bet not see, you know, I actually force you expect a lot because you're the only rare corners name, you're the only rare baby say here, no, now you share a good day, of course, African games, no cost, spotlight, need that so, but nitty-gritty is ninja the best on the show. Wow,
yeah. Haji, your first show, our expectation is they're not even shredding. Yeah, for wow. That's a growing form. And the UEFA Champions League. Edro Abba so hon ye discussion never chat say there fina for dovetail akopimo the English Africa matches are interesting part na eba so e be call La Liga mo then ya peta ma share all African games and Ghana yanya medals di bia kan medals kakra be bia be kan wa just am wrestling 40 anymore anya sam keto akwa gold ko na silver ko na ya bronze and so e ko na nim anya sam keto anti eno wasama no we na be prepare nim na ye twe ho aba na ye twe ho ba ye de enkomotwetwe no atwa so e dia ma Kejwa Nankasa ni Eric Asiedu Bwede Sports Arena ni right yes I'm Wakwaba at the Sports Arena jumade so na the de chase the UEFA Champions League quarter final draw and okopiemo e Switzerland na nya sam keto akra na obi apeso do je de nyonko but udu sa stage we are oni akesefo ne hia eti ye be se draw no eti but Arsenal and Bayern Munich and I think so no Real Madrid versus Manchester City and I think so no Atletico de Madrid one more ne Borussia Dortmund ne Paris Saint-Germain and Barcelona eti we and quarter final draw no we no send hisi ekoye maybe some last stop ni we last stop ebi so ufa pani adia yam pick games no one after the other quickly Mesha said a few of V Power Arsenal and Bayern Munich the Arsenal last stop ni ebi so enye Thomas Tuchel ni ma I fish ya konopa
Eriko mami chiafefo I think say o share the UEFA Champions League there's a reason here Utiom anthem na unya our single because one of the most prestigious competitions about club football and o share say for a club like Arsenal baby o do this season in the last 14 years no mun do hoye no mun call the quarter final stage Arsene Wenger wa Arsenal no now the UEFA Champions League na your birthright but after Wenger call here Unai Emery Bayer and the other coaches and to say Arteta a bit take here more that grandstand at the point crown on that supporters within the setup crap say Arteta call because no more struggle first 2-3 seasons your struggle here but gradually on your shape or these players be bear some players and so na audio mu call loan Saliba and money other players ebe augmented squad no or to Toby Fee City or augmented Gabriel Jesus at certain caliber of players be more style what you see so Osha Arsenal this season after say last season your team almost non come fighting for the
league title
Premier League title because the City Fire no the other movement and they say no more do Champions League and 14 years ago what was the story going to be like. Say quarter final no do it, and Osha gradually group and long Sevilla mo omutimi maneuver mo we are. Don't any difficult group Ubisamia, any difficult PSV and even mo no teams are on the pedigree, you know. Though Arsenal we need Champions League, you know, but Osha current playing style and quality Arsenal war Odegaard more leadership or more the pushy team, you know. Arteta at the touchline, what is worked into the team. If it's me a group, and due to the way some of in the knockout phases, one of the teams are notable in the Champions League. Sebase Yenji Omajibida, and even 2004, Jose Mourinho the unthinkable at the FC Porto. Etimi share the likes of Man United, Etimi Echo winning the Champions League. So it will tell you say when it comes to tasting it, and almost tasted that. But over 2 legs, Arsenal, the most important thing. Eric Onim.
But I'm fan how console.
Yes, game. In games over 2 legs, there is a clear strategy.
Okay.
Do it over 2 legs. And now, one of game, you have to put everything into it.
Qualification.
Yes, you should know, say, at the end of the day, you know, a qualification. And to some who change the format, maybe away goes over corner. Now it comes to who scores more.
But comparing the qualities of Bayern and Arsenal.
Yeah, Erico. And you know, like I was saying, you know, we share the 2 teams now. I think the last time I Bayern Asia Arsenal, it was a 10-2 drubbing. With the sort of disgrace some of them. But you see, this Arsenal team, you know, in the Champions League, they have not won it before. For Bayern, they are not new to winning it. The Bayern team we have struggled. In the first leg against Lazio, Upamecano on your red card, tilted their whole efforts down. Chiro Immobile, a share penalty. But in the second leg, now we expected that dominant Bayern, and that sort of dominance. Even in our last leg game, almost a minds by 8-1. Clearly, you know, there are issues within the dressing room setup. Tuchel might not be the one who handled them after this season.
Yes, of course.
So every other trophy, it looks like the Bundesliga and they are slipping away. So this is what you have to pay attention.
And them matching
yes, and one of the teams are almost noted for winning the Champions League. We Liverpool, we Real Madrid, we AC Milan, Bayern Munich is there. So these are teams almost pedigree in such competitions. And it's so terrible. So at this moment, Arsenal could share a side that the biggest because I feel say in this game so far, Arsenal have not really been tested in the Champions League.
Bayern never tested them.
Bayern never test you. And when you have a Hurricane who is pumping double figures, he knows them in the North London derby. Leroy Sané, formerly was Manchester City, on him the entirety of these Arsenal team, what it means playing. And for the Bavarian Giants, the pressure no be almost so. Arteta or Lutu game we no fima. And yes, surprise because this is a step for him. He's learning.
Sure.
Aside say he's been with Pep Guardiola, but being the head coach, it will be a learning curve. The pressure no be what to so. But I expect a very tight game. Erico, one thing about this Arsenal
team, who say 10 goals.
There be who 10 goals.
But those take your neck out. There are 2 sides.
If I'm to go with the books, for Bayern Munich. But Erico, there will be fine margins. This Arsenal team is very young, and at this stage, they would want to beat Bayern to make a statement, and they have a way of doing it. One of the teams, very workable in Europe in terms of playing patterns, putting passes together. They know where the next teammate is. It's that Arsenal team. And a little damage they can do is to capitalize on Bayern's weakness. And you say one of Bayern's biggest weakness, Upamecano. That is one of Bayern's biggest weakness. And you go into a fixture.
At Arsenal, even though what take Bayern,
but Arsenal what chance.
But remember Dina for the City Madrid game.
Yeah.
And still, all don't see to say.
Medimena is for Bayern, but there are surprises in games. Because every time Omoshiano, history tells you that Bayern have been dominant for a period. Until I'm sticking my neck out for Bayern.
Right, the other draw back, so Man City, Real Madrid, last season, a repeat of a fixture course last season. City didn't see so say no Madrid into me. This season, the other
The beautiful thing about the Champions League is you don't need to be the best team to win it. That's the beauty about cup games. I'm a fan of cup games because I believe the best team don't win it. and I cheer so many times. You might not be the best in your league, but you'll be able to dominate the Champions League.
Sure. It's Mbappe winning. Yeah.
Ube tuma about draw me and ako winning one game crowd in the Musa Adobako final kwakonje. And it doesn't matter who wins, but your history was stake. And actually, BB, if you look at the last 30 years, only 2 teams are outside Europe's top 5 leagues in the Major Champions League. Ajax in '94 and Porto in 2004. Ajax in '95 under former Bayern Munich coach, former Momo coach, former Netherlands coach. Thank you, Louis van Gaal. You remember that Finidi George team normally call final no me winning. And ye sound so bad. The top 8 year woman, a team say Europe top 5 leagues. Obi omo eni mu bia no na so ni Europe top 5 leagues in the EU omo free.
A telephone nation.
Ye nyomo.
And that's why people remember the PSG game, the PSG Barca game.
and it's game we all. There's one funny thing about this game. If you look at Pep Guardiola, anytime he plays against Real Madrid, it's like Angabi already they have that history. Already Madrid won the Champions League about 5 times. Na Barca into Menje. And if you listen to Pep Guardiola's interview when he was with Barcelona, or say the first time they won the Champions League in '92, Barcelona went standstill. Or say the entire city, everybody was like, yes, we are GB. Because the story of Di Stefano, Felipe, until that rivalry, until any time he's playing, don't forget the 2 seasons ago they met.
Yeah.
They nearly, until the 89th minute, they were leading by a long goal.
Yeah.
And magic in the sea.
Magic in the sea. And I think it is a game where they were missing the laterals. Because that game, to me, right back on Kyle Walker, fully fit for the 180 minutes. So last season, when Kyle Walker was fully fit, I told a friend, City is winning this game. Because Madrid for attack, about 80% of the attack, FBB Vinicius Junior. Give the ball to Vini Junior. And you are in trouble. And to me, cut that supply above Vini Junior now. Then Rodrigo Gross, some of those guys, good players, but they are normal players. You won't do everything, you understand? No, respectfully. When you play for Madrid and you play for Barca, the hype is quite different from playing for other clubs. I think the prestige.
But of course, James Rodriguez, Obama Everton.
It is going to be a very difficult game. And may share a Madrid or Mumbo with a natural number 9 because Ancelotti but that system we use to Kaka Milan that diamond no the Kaka to say force number 9 and you not the best out of Jude Bellingham. Whether the best out of Jude Bellingham no a bit to propel Madrid to beat City another issue because the most stable team in Europe now is Man City. Almost every team is in a rebuilding state.
I disagree.
Really?
Thank you. And almost every team. Bayern. Talking about Bayern. What's their state now? They want to start their manager. They are still rebuilding. And a young boy, Jamal Musiala, and the correct team, Upamecano, you talked about him, loopholes. Omokofa Kim Min-jae by. What's the performance of Kim Min-jae? On and off. Into more issues with team, Joshua Kimmich want to leave. Leon Goretzka issues surrounding boardroom. Money, those guys.
Then problems. The most stable team.
That is Liverpool. The coach wants to leave. But catch Rome. They are playing their hearts out. They want to win something for him. Barcelona is still struggling. Their financial.
That's a City. Asha Madrid.
Oh,
I'm not a 10-10.
And see, as Omuna team in the last 4 or 5 years, Omunya stability.
Very consistent.
Very consistent because Ateta still the best. He's doing very well with us now. Very, very well. Take no credit from him. Because even when you have the idea to bring Obi to say Declan Rice, and the turning point at the Arsenal this season. Last season, no will lose Saho. But this season, Declan Rice it must stabilize the team now. And Arsenal for to me to and Toko was just around the 18-yard box. That spaces, you are not able to penetrate.
But you understand? Player for player, City in Madrid.
I think for now, City a little bit ahead of Madrid. Oh, you combined 11 now. You can look at it. If you combine 11
City.
Yes, players for more form. And I think City, the quality they have, even on the bench, a team are first 11, not Kevin De Bruyne, no single team in Europe, and Kevin De Bruyne on starting.
On price, no name.
No name. omutumi ye first 11 no meja Julian Alvarez our bench omutumi ye first 11 no meja Bernardo Silva our bench.
But don't you think the experience be back to play?
That is the beauty of cup game, not even experience. You can have a bad day.
Yeah, you
started ball and I'm red card game. You don't have opportunity to play again.
Like Salah and Sergio Ramos.
Yeah. And Howler were Liverpool. You remember when Salah when they won in 2019? Carlos saying and cup matches society it can make or unmake you because it had made normal players heroes. And it has made heroes villains.
Now, to you say the team to win.
I think City might just edge from Madrid. I believe say the first leg can end in a draw. City have advantage. The reason I'm saying is last season they played away first. This season they are playing away first. And even in the semi-final, they are still side or messing away first. The winner will take the Champions League.
Wow. So OTP City to qualify.
Yeah, City will go through.
Now back to V-Power. This fixture interesting. Paris Saint-Germain and Barcelona. Yanka say Barca neman kuyi intino last stop ni ana.
You can answer na mekosa PSG Barcelona no. Madini nti ase say Carlo Ancelotti one of the coaches whoever you are he doesn't defend. Shemena mean show.
But this is Madrid is playing a lot on counter.
Okay, now City are very stable. In the last City, how many Champions League titles?
Just talking of stability, like I said, the Belgian Champions League.
Sorry, when you bring that argument, taking the narratives, all the way. Ancelotti has been coaching for more than 25 years. Ancelotti has won 4 Champions League. How many league titles has he won?
That's what they know. But
domestically. Well, that would be a discussion for another day.
Right.
He's the best man when it comes to winning the Champions League. No doubt about it.
It's never true.
It will go down to the wire.
What have done? Who has coached for only 4 years and has won the Champions League?
That is it.
Yes. Obia winning with Milan near the club.
Milan when Ancelotti was winning with Milan. Milan were arguably the best team in Italy.
They will come to
that. Like Paris Saint-Germain.
Remontada. Mekai PSG when they had all the best of stars. In the first leg, almost Barcelona 4-0. And then you was a reverse fixture. No? Don't think about happen. I said you were better to share last minute goal. Neymar was in God mode. God in quotes. Small G. God mode that particular day. That 6-1 victory, a breaking PSG 4 hard. But after that, PSG have still managed to be very relevant in the Champions League. Back close the COVID year against Bayern Munich. Kingsley Coman trained product from the academy. And Bayern Munich did title. So you look at it, and this is a big fixture. But the dimensions have changed. The new coach for PSG is through and through a Spaniard.
He was the coach during the remontada.
You understand?
And interestingly, draw you 4 of the teams, one way or the other, coaches now Barca BB.
Yes, you understand 4. So even in the Europa League, players who have been through the Spanish league, other league,
the new dynamic here is Luis Enrique, the coach
the coach for Paris Saint-Germain. But you see, Paris Saint-Germain team, Jericho, as it stands now, the model is that they are not focusing so much on stars.
Okay.
And I feel the crop of players have been Colomwani, Ugarte, Mone, the young bloods the other young bloods, Zai Emery Mono. They are one for the future. It will be very tough for Enrique in this fixture because he's going back to a place of a buy. And you know that sometimes these things play a major role in the games and the results are Ubenya. Though he fared well in Spain, even with the national team crown, there were points he had struggles. Barcelona have not been in this competition at this level for a very long time. Last season at this stage it was Manchester United and Shawm in the Europa League in the round 32. So it will tell you for Xavi to take such a team and they were in a lot of crisis, financial crisis, Barca still are not even able to purchase. They are doing a lot of free buys. Bringing players on loan. Even João Cancelo, or share go against Napoli, push them through. It is not stable. So the Barca team in totality also has issues off the pitch. At a point, it was rumors that Xavi would leave his position because
he's leaving at the end of the season.
Minobi Kasa, he's been at Spain, and I'll say Xavi is somebody who tear the media a lot. So it's like the backlash is getting to him. Reason he wants to leave the club. But I would want to believe, say, for a coach Awaji Champions League, we're pushing Barca all this way into this quarter-final stage for a very long time in a while, at that level. No? It will be an all-Spanish affair in this game. And Erico, if I want to be blunt, PSG will be heavily reliant on Kylian Mbappe. Against Sociedad, Omutimi Eshe, and he was a star man. But when they have been on Spanish opposition against the big lads, they struggle. And that will be another thing, as I say, PSG for Eshe, normal. They have to rally over it because
there's money, but they always underachieve.
Erico, you see, you can have all the money in the world, but Pep Guardiola Kabibi. Besides, what's the difference between City and Man United at this level? And I'll say, at City, the entire structure, they have the same sort of thinking.
So
you see what United is doing now? They are bringing in people who know football after the 25% acquisition by Ineos. It's, almost it's a structure. You have to build a structure and send away. And sometimes it's not about the money. When these big players are there, Erico, ego. There was Mbappe, Cavani fracas. There was Neymar, Cavani fracas. Lionel Messi, after winning the World Cup, was not a favorite in the PSG setup. So there are issues with ego, any player management when it comes to these big lads around. But I feel this is the make or break for Mbappe and his PSG career. That will also play a role. They would heavily rely on Mbappe to do magic. But this Barcelona team will rely on the fact that they have some experience in there. They have some young blacks who are pulling their weight. Lamine Yamal, he's been outstanding for them. Robert Lewandowski, with that experience, Rafinha is finding his feet. So about 12 class. Erico, I'm saying on this platform that game will go beyond 180 minutes.
Really?
Over 2 legs, it won't be decided. I believe strongly the penalties will decide that game.
Even though more players, more flamboyant and all that.
Yeah.
Right. But in the end,
in the end, I take PSG to go through.
Wow.
Yeah.
PSG they have qualified. But the other fixtures, the last one, and standing called the other fixtures across Europe, Atletico Madrid, and Dortmund. But Dean, that particular game where I feel I did a man for ATP Atletico cry how they qualified to this round.
I did about quite for that game we say two teams where teams are a band of support. A band is in the stadium. Two teams when you know Oko Metropolitano supporters need to say no more bone. Obe to me quite on inside the account.
To air off with
close to the field. And you almost charge a stadium honoma. It gives you goosebumps. And you're very emotional. And for Atletico Madrid, it's sad when you see them in this state. I think football, Mr. Bodi, in life, sometimes udu baby the critical decision now be taken. It either affects you negatively or positively, and for a long time. Atletico, they should have been Champions League winners long ago.
But for Madrid.
Not for Madrid. Atletico Madrid for a biggest meltdown or affecting them all this year was when they won they lost their first Champions League final 74 to Bayern Munich. Now Guardian for a cover headline B or say seconds from ecstasy. The night Atletico Madrid threw their European glory away. And when you read the story, it's very emotional. They were left with 6 seconds to win the Champions League. Then Jorge George Schwarzberg, who was the centre back, just like Sergio Ramos.
So that's a history repeating
for Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich had never qualified for the Champions League final. It was their first final. Atletico, it was their first final. Then they were playing at our Helsinki Stadium, Brussels. Now, Omashe, 6 seconds. Now, Bantan, centre back, Ojinechiri, Opuma shot in straight into the net. Yapon. It was the only Champions League game, Yakobo replay. 2 days later, Nomkobo replay Atletico Madrid were broken down. They lost 4-0. Uli Hones, brace. Jed Muller, brace. That was, they went 22 years. No one qualified for. They were struggling in league. Obiana prior to that, no magic 3 league titles, or magic Copa del Rey. All of a sudden, Atletico Madrid team, they break it down. And when they came to the 2014 final, Luis Aragonés, I remember the interview here, was say, Charlie, remember what happened to us in 74? The same defender, position, center back. 90 seconds in your game. More extra time. They broke down again. How many did they concede? 4.
It's a fast one.
And see, me who in this stage, I feel so sorry. But Diego Simeone are why in this season. When you say this season, home they've dropped only 2 points, 40 from 42. And if you know, I had ding.
But the league entirely.
That is even Inter for former normal the Barca champions last season finalist. Inter 13 games on losing, winning, and one or winning, or breaking it down. And they have a special player in the shape of Memphis Depay. Take nothing away from Memphis.
Oh, yeah, very good game.
That is it. And now, one person, he scores, he can dribble, he has the pace, and to no man he's very strong.
But on me, no. Because Dortmund is the weakest in the.
Everybody wanted Dortmund. I don't know. Almost everybody wanted Dortmund. But cup match, and not a cup match, no be deceive no. But I'll go for Atletico. All those Atletico, go home first, no. I still think they have what it takes. If they are able to score even 1-0. Against Dortmund,
they should be able to get it done.
Right, so the 9th and the 10th of April, na games no chance here. Send ye Mundia man also him na baby. Later on I will show you Sikato Krum, a Hona betting tips, and the Bemo and Sunny sorry show you. So now, you call the English Africa this weekend quarter final. Interesting. You're trying to display the game will be a schedule. Manchester United. One money Liverpool and a very interesting game. Match Obi saying there's Wolves near Coventry City, Man City, and in Newcastle, Chelsea, Leicester, Manchester United versus Liverpool. And Vapor Man U Liverpool. Oh yeah, Man U ni. You know how much I come and farm out.
Eriko, I'm not confident going to that game.
Sir, so for Chelsea Leicester, man.
Oh, say yeah.
What for Chelsea Leicester? Now me for Newcastle, Liverpool.
Eriko, man, come on,
okay, Mate.
You see, Makase, Osha coaches are Europe at the moment. One of them are now all very bright prospect, Erik ten Hag. He took this Ajax team from nowhere. He took a Tottenham Hotspur Pochettino side. Second, said they are not DNA Kano to break their hearts at their very home grounds. And you know, coming to Manchester United, United has had a lot of issues. Post Ferguson era, United have not really been stable. One coach will be stabilizing United Kakra, Jose Mourinho. Yehu Moyes Awabe Trim, Yehu LVG. Yehu in the interim, Ryan Giggs, Yehu Michael Carrick, any other coaches are back. Ole Gunnar. I always seem to forget about Ole Gunnar. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, who was almost laying his hands on an European trophy. So it will tell you, say, Erik ten Hag coming in, there were huge expectations. And the first season, Man United did third. Not easy for a new manager into the Premier League. And he learned the hard way. Because in the first season, in the first game, Brighton Channel at Old Trafford. Then there was a drubbing by Brentford. And afterwards, we said, no, the energy levels of these players,
are not done.
This is not what I need. So he puts them on the field. He ran them. So you have no excuse. But also over the years, especially this season, injuries are high United a lot. And I may feel bad for Ten Hag because me feel or dwell on the injury situation to make it look like his hands are tied. Of course, there were issues with ownership. Now United supporters, a full takeover from the Glazer family. But so there's restructuring within United.
But was about on the screen matches between Jurgen Klopp and Erik ten Hag and almost 3 wins, 1 win for Ten Hag and a drawback. And he has a Klopp on Saturday. Ten Hag so
last season was shining 7. And it was a shocker because at that time, going to that game, not United, it was some sort of good run. Then Liverpool thumped them 7-0. are one of the worst results. And you see these two teams, they are big rivals. They don't exchange jerseys. So for Ten Hag to lose 7-0 and even records are already out, it means that he's not doing well. And this season alone, he's not doing well against the big sides. That is problematic. So for me, if you look at this Liverpool team, our manager can say at the end of the season, I'm leaving. They are poised. And Enrico on Prep Zone told you that Liverpool fight for every title they have to fight for. This season, they have won the EFL already. They have won the EFL. This is the FA Cup. They are in the quarters against Man United. This is rivalry renewed. But you see, after this United team, there's nothing that will convince me that they can even beat a depleted Liverpool side. Do you know why? Make sure Liverpool against Man City. And all I saw in that setup, Liverpool had 7 first-team players, but most of them were regulars. City also had Mecca City was the biggest squad strength going to that game. But do you see how Klopp and his lads approach the game? They play the game as if their life depended on it. And that is what I don't see within the Man United setup.
That's what they play Liverpool.
Coach is setting up the team sometimes against this big lads to sit, defend, and break on the counter. But these are teams that have quality. And Klopp will want to beat you to make a statement. Forget whatever has happened, current form here. I don't see United standing a chance.
Okay.
Because with this Liverpool team, they want to go all the way this season. I feel it's sad to say United is sure at this stage. I don't see them.
As a United fan, what last week, baby?
But I'm being realistic.
Okay, that's fine.
I like being practical. This United team at the moment is not convincing. Even top 4 crowd, they are struggling to be in the top 4. So it will take an entirely new season. So if Ten Hag is with the club, let's see augmentation with the squad. Now you send start fresh with senior kind of targets because a lot of players are underperforming at United.
Okay.
Anthony.
That's why we're going to that.
He's not
later, but since they all tipping Liverpool way over Man.
I'm tipping Liverpool.
But cup games, then not doing cup games though.
Sometimes cup games are
the United might cause a surprise.
Uncertainty room. But I'm saying, sir, as a United fan, and what I've seen with this United team, Obi share I don't agree with you, fair enough. But this is my opinion. I don't feel, sir, with the sort of run at Liverpool were, looking at the league title, winning the EFL, going to this competition, I didn't know, sir, this side they beat last season in the league 7-0. No? It will be very difficult for them.
I know, match back where Basel, Manchester United, Liverpool, Dutchna, 3:30. Now, Chelsea, Leicester.
Make just a minute on the Chelsea, on the Liverpool and
Man United.
What a Liverpool team now, Mr. Body. Liverpool guys, no more Bama Klopp. It's like Klopp catch from say he's leaving, and then the Debeja. That is it. And the determination, the anger on the ball. And yet only on I said the intrinsic motivation to win games, you know. And yet tactical
okay.
Because
it goes beyond
the tactical board. Most of these things.
That's only Vipo.
I agree with you.
United for a bit much.
Yes, and that is the beauty of what you said. The cap.
Right, come back to the Chelsea game.
There will be no shock. There will be no shock. Because City, City, one of the biggest teams in Europe at the moment. And Liverpool went. They played them toe to toe.
Right, I understand.
Only the ball, Can United play City like that a week before? No, we're going to 3-1. So we are being realistic here.
And funny enough, this is in City. Big teams in United and with match.
Yes.
Wow. Pochettino akunya so budget trophy be.
Pochettino your coach Amaka so there Eban quality there are very good. But winning trophy is another issue. I saw Pochettino at PSG and looking at Pochettino at PSG and what he did, I was never convinced that he would take Chelsea to the promised land. I believe say Obebe team at Chelsea. He is good at handling the young guys. Obetuma a work in progress.
Time now Obisano. Yes,
you should give him time. A work in progress. Chelsea team we are this is how many players did you buy? Nottingham Forest last season they bought more than 25 players. Yes, 20 players. They nearly equal form. And see what the players buy. Tima, in the last 2 seasons, you've been struggling. How many coaches? Tuchel, Lampard, Ononkwa, between. Another coach. You don't expect him to do sorry, Porter.
Chairman Porter.
The referee Porter.
A reporter, me now, a reporter.
Right.
But
so
you don't expect say, all of a sudden, no, what hitting the gun round. It doesn't work like that. He will need time. Okay, Jackson Martinez and those guys now, they need time, and he's playing in a different league altogether. And I am playing against Leicester City. Although Chelsea, our young team, they are now building the team. I think they have too much quality for Leicester City.
Okay, Leicester simple. Wow.
They should be able to
Mustafa Dean in some kind of the kind of fixtures not show. And then Ochana, a basso, and some keto aquanti, send a Bessia course and wine and a qualifier and Wolves near Coventry, Man City, Newcastle United.
Interesting game.
Very interesting game now be. But
how pressure no 80 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, and then I can be betrayal, Mr. Body, about so many competitions. Once the last season, Tamana Newcastle Bono. For me, I believe say UK he's the best UK manager.
Me know ya Jane.
UK.
Me know ya.
UK for Nangaza Monyade.
The only
even
manager
Premier League managers.
That is it. The only manager I never compare with former Liverpool, the call Celtic, Brendan Rodgers. Or no, any manager me say or no sometimes Mr. Body Pedro di control. A Juma no you Liverpool no because say on your club, on your Guardiola, on your Ebia Luis Enrique no your Mourinho Muntino, on your time crown farmer. That slip. It wasn't his fault. It was always Gerard's slip. And at the end of the day, no more
sitting near the Harbury.
Oh, the pressure no draws some
I tell no one some about or screeners you ever see it to me. I want the fish that are moving on sunset time I beat and Kakraba. That's my own Canada. Osasuna and in Real Madrid, the Real Nebaso in the Spanish La Liga and Okopima Girona call Hetafe. Girona stubborn papa free. But the big game in Spain, Atletico de Madrid and Barcelona. 1 minute on it. Atletico ni Barca vapor. Atletico Barca.
Erico, you see there are moments in the Liga. Sometimes want to have these fixtures, but they be a bar. But the good thing is that the two of them know their fate in Europe at the moment. And I expect Atletico go home.
Well, yeah, okay, in home. So in Europe, I forgot to mention one thing. Say fear in Europe. In the last 10 years, all machine.
Yeah, all machine. So they didn't kind this season. I'm not picking maximum points at.
Don't pay Atletico again.
I'm tipping them double chance for Atletico Madrid.
Also double chance for Atletico.
A difficult game for both teams. I think it might even end in a draw. I'm very sure it might end in a draw. But a minute, where I did about this Atletico team, they say. And so a team and so almost in rebuilding. So what Atletico team now? The most experienced player Antoine Griezmann.
Yeah.
Still they have Hermoso, Mone, Savage, Young Black, Koke Munen as so for so be Juman or Medford. But this is a Simeone own to me Barcelona.
I will share Real Madrid at Petre.
And this season, what can Madrid as me? Madrid they lose 2 games per Eufie. Copa del Rey bako, League bako, Nina against Atletico. Wow. But they still lost to Barcelona. A Barcelona team will struggle with that Gavi, with that Pedri, with that Frankie de Jong, with all these guys. And you know, a bad in the mobile Sasuna, Mr. Bodi. I say sometimes coaches be omundi di, but I say to me bomb abaso. I say Joguada Aristadi. I say a book coach in Abaso.
Oh yeah, Juma.
He's doing so well. The budget. This coach took the club in 2018.
You have fixtures near movie on Italy. The big game will be a Inter Milan. One more and Napoli in a dear Pim so and also Inter form. Napoli the Ochechia. Napoli Chechia. But the resurgence of Roma. Interest in Girossi assistant Roma cry. Does it mean Senna Moreno na?
Next season, I'll be the Rossi, so you're good manager and you're good manager.
I need to pay you.
No, I understand it here.
New coach,
so new coach, Oba,
and new
man, you know. Team number break it down and number move up.
And
it happened to Villas Boas if Chelsea. When I buy Di Matteo. Since 10, what did Di Matteo do in Ghana?
You might be obeying.
And it happened, and the list is very tall. Next season. And I'll be on one cast of
right, Juventus Genoa, Verona, and AC
Milan. Our general. No, Gladino.
One coach in so boy, Thiago Motta with Bologna.
Bologna.
Anko osi macho no na kofa attacks bi so about 273 you good be
yeah about 273 telling say officials the good screen no so wo hwe no ente no ho asema no ya fi Spain ya ba Italy na ye kohwe the ekoso in Germany and out to say yes Bayern Munich but Leverkusen still unbeaten yeah they am more money enko any
very cool
the Dortmund here in the last season no men trust him
but
Bayern Munich have overtaken
me Gidi said Leverkusen will go all the way. There's something about this Leverkusen team, they don't know how to lose.
The determination and even the wing backs.
Even before last season, before Xabi be take over, no, they had issues. I think one time Florian Wirtz prior, Alonso was almost sacked.
Next season,
he stabilized it. What you said, or the BBS boys in him.
Wow.
You see, there's something working for them in Alex Grimaldo and Frimpong, Jeremy Frimpong.
Yeah, wing backs goals for more share.
2 deadly
assists.
Eriko Oshomo numbers deadly.
On performance in the Europa League,
yes, Florian
Wirtz show 2-0.
They come back.
I thought the game was maybe Makwada crowd.
Over 2 legs.
First one 2 sir, Hasus 2 sir.
Patrick Schick. What's that Patrick Schick? After that, is it the Euros or share that one?
Wonderful goal.
Got that prominence. No, even now he's become more of a super sub. And Alonso knows when to throw him on.
Wow.
Eriko, Grimaldo will put the cross in and there will be somebody. There's always...
all trust Leverkusen.
Yes, I trust them to go all the way.
Wow.
They've not won it before. They've come close. But I trust...
But then also
Alonso should get it done.
I don't trust them. No, they're a fine team. But you know, problem. They have their character though. But idea about Kwam Sebo, they are affected this smaller teams. No. Respect, with all due respect to Leverkusen, they were in the Champions League final about 2 decades ago. And they have the pedigree. But the point is, here, baby, the character to win it. No, I have no money.
Well, yes, send a Bessia call. I was there, Sports Arena, and I will share Adom TV. So my catch you say, Meme Day, and Meme Debia, the artist way, and Meme Debia. About your non do bop pie, and I say, they are good even some yellow. Yeah, but fear to our African games, and tea, and yes, some catch up by if I made way on the pa. Yes, you can't near Metwaso to Ado in the African games on some. Yamakwaba, Samuakwaba, the Bass Sports Arena. Makacho say, Meme Day, Tisui, the Meme de Bia 10:30 near TSC, a Quamo, and a pilot, and a prepper, Nimun TV, be fine. Now, Yantisimo Otuado is back. They say the new Black Stars coach. And they, I'm fun to say, 3 years, sir. The first 3 plus an optional 2. It's a long term project, the new Otoye. Yes, share a search team, someone pe coaching for my. Interviews I hold work so mo ye anam se no obi oba e bia ntimi ayo obo yen ku achimra no mo ko no mo ne otu akwa Dortmund fo nyina agi atum se bibia fine a hwe Dortmund fo nsem nim bia se December mo to mo nyina no ne ye mo kasa o enti oto ado aba din yen kase ye best choice ai ni na adwuma pa na the sec team na ye no
mo be fo oto ado you didn't have to waste our time. You should have appointed oto ado national team and I say omo ye in charge no ya fo oto ado nde no. They should have a pool of coaches. China Otuado kwa ombetumi nyamu baako.
Pool of coaches doesn't.
Ya ko AFCON. How many teams in a panel of coaches? How many of them na your appointment? And how long did it take us to do an appointment? What were we waiting for? If it is Otuado we wanted, why didn't you appoint him?
The due diligence.
You said you wanted a coach who has been coaching for 15 years. Otuado retired July 1, 2008. He got his first appointment 1st January 2010 as under 19 manager, assistant manager wa Hamburg. How many years in it?
Now, I want Henry Asante Chum there. Or say obi all football munto or say on the fresh and
the
criteria na me dey ajeje omo.
Say in the first criteria no kwa hu.
And very good. Afei mo so mo a proven winner. Yes coach no the coach Erling Haaland ne Jude Bellingham. Is that his proven winner? Is that his proven winner?
Nope.
Is that his proven winner?
No.
This is a coach about 4-2-3-1 in the last best 8 years. Look at the managers you brought into the Black Stars. You brought Eastern Europeans whose system are different. Yeah, the Western European Chris Wutinaba, the system is different. Yeah, Kokofa, former Dreams FC. Yeah, and Fika Kono, Edinaba, also no so much Agrobo. And Eastern Europeans boy different. Western Europeans boy different. Sika Kono system is different. What do we want to play, Mr. Body? Can you tell me? You see the football Benalepet Ababa my football.
Yeah,
then you pass here. I feel you see coach, you know, you pay coach. ono ne sister in the system no eye to say the system ne den oto my favorite system ye 4231 yen ye de ne den coach is about 451 e bia 4231 e bia 442 e bia 433 and yen de ne den
maybe I feel the obekọ with the DNA no
the joke is too much. I believe that as a nation and as a football association these things we are far gone yen jai san man we Diama ya kechiri sa no mwende Comoros ehye ya yeso obi ehu bobo na obeka tem se Bolivia be hye Brazil no ka Brazil for so obi ehu bobo ana Venezuela ebeka kwasha Argentina o se omunya se ade obi ehu bobo really obi ehu bobo since World Cup no how many different and I say in the last 5 World Cups na yekono how many new entrants na baba beje in the last 10 AFCONs na yekono how many new entrants omunya powerhouse
powerhouse na eje
no mo beje what ma obra ye na se Comoros hyewa abaka che se ball obi ehu bobo into obi ehu bobo nti Mozambique unya draw their qualify to qualify
yeah person enyim
me I wish him well. I think yes we want a good coach if omo ejidi se ono na betuma ye adwuma na but I was only basing my argument on their criteria it's flawed. Oman ka say defeat the whatever they say.
Na criteria ho. What they looking here? Yeah, the criteria to us here per coach. And the interview will be a hearing no. Criteria no. Fact.
Because na mete so more apply. Do not don in 2070. Do not know when's the last time we coaching. Well mo nka
17 na young you know.
Anya young asem.
Okay, that's fine.
Penyi e wo nyansa na kwala so wo nyansa. Obetuma ye adwuma na it's not about age. One hour can was 16 and 17 years players Champions League dominating world football. Metisa obi kasa akwala nkwa na emesere. Ronaldo oje ne Ballon d'Or no saying 20 years.
To say the number football Champions League final.
Peak age in between 17 to 25. First na see peak age 25 to 30. Pele mo ne Maradona mo time and then 16 17 on him 24 rubber shoulders and then Jude Bellingham how old is he?
I think he's a good choice. Oh, a good choice for Ghana.
I don't think so.
Any good choice?
I don't think so because me Obaye no Ushe coach now the best he did was that 1-1 against Nigeria. That was the best.
Technically when we win game no.
Technically no win. And to kwa
coach 4-4-4. 4 wins, 4 draws, 4 defeats.
And to open coach and now baby Ghana your way. Now per manager be take care to promised land. Will you go for 4-4-4?
Formation. Well, Vipa looking at the Obey, Kaka Yehuye.
Yeah.
Near Sanko Fano. A good choice. A good decision.
A very clear say this FA no almost comfortable working with old faces. And you know, if you've not worked with them and as someone who needs some sort of relationship, I didn't so be Jumai.
Wow.
Let me give you some precedents. Sika Kono no a Kusiapia assistant. Kusiapia after a relieving of his duty. Me say yet make us a pamon. Seeking a buy.
A relieving of the duty to the battery my then.
After saying I'm Jan Paman Coy. Sika Kono took over.
Okay.
Sika Kono buy no and fat. There was no FA president can say this coach is a no matter
Maminka one funny thing. Yes, Sika Kono your coach no. Omo call no mo ye training na. Obo say Scheiße German kata Scheiße.
As I just say.
I don't understand this.
Well, tell my assistant to Kwesapiano. To say coach training games.
It looks like that. Because can commune at their times. Okoye no Sike Koye no Milovan Rajvac ne buy. Somebody ani na ejuma. We saw a disastrous campaign at Then Otoado was brought in to steady the ship. And even at that moment, now Yakofo Otoado, we brought him on an interim basis because near him said, "A Juma or Hoye Dada," but because he's in a way related to Ghana, Yakofa ne buy. You qualified for World Cup. Our campaign wasn't the best.
Okay.
Otoado Koye, who was his assistant?
That's a Omope.
The technical advisor there at that time, not Otoado George Boat anyway. They put the technical advisor there. Chris Hughton stated, say, it has some political influence. Something that we shouldn't permit in our football. It's, you know, an obvious dent on the FA's credentials. Say, Mutiho and more appointed coaches are. How come they are political hands in the way? Say it is the ministry or government that pays the coaches, but there should be a limit. Fair enough. And I want to quote something that Henry Asante Chum said this morning.
Okay.
I say there were coaches that asked for 6 assistants. Others were attached to different national teams, and I want to believe it's Hervé Renard. And Otuado was highly recommended. Once the green light was given by Dortmund, there was a unanimous decision to appoint Otuado. So it is clear said the FA had their favorite. What they did was just mere formality.
What
they did was just mere from this coach. From the mere formality, Eriko. You want to tell me, say, there weren't other coaches that were equal. I walk into sports arena. I tell them I can do this job. Now I bet Tanasi. What you say? My bet Tanasi. It is the results that will tell.
Wow.
It is not about
also Ojidi said it is not a good choice.
I feel that we shouldn't have gone back for Tuado. Maybe Yepese and Alou Cisse. And you see, when Alou Cisse before he took over the Senegalese national team, he had intertwined himself within their youth system. Waboda.
It was why assistant. I'm coach pay.
Now we're called under 20, all the levels, even Chan. Right? Before he took over Senegal, he was there for 9 years.
But it's a good choice.
For me, it's not a good choice.
Wow.
But coach being kind. We would wish him the best.
Okay.
Nobody
all right. The African Games. Good news coming in. Good news. Ghana really be. Yes, but 100 in India. But the medal table now. Ghana Kakraba. Tell me because I'm resting for my idea.
Who and Crawford?
But I remember that table. Yes. On the screen now, we're Ghana. It's also 7th. I can say good to have you. No, to Ghana. Oh, red table now. Reserving home, mommy. Any tell no. Yamba, it's a lettuce and I'm quaso by Jordan. I heard your lettuce also by any other organization. Some here and there, satellite or Samson and the princesses also be to my GBP at the Amaye. Just a minute on the African Games.
Organization has been very bad.
Very.
Okay,
bad. Very.
It's been bad. Right? So you compare who to the powerhouses of Africa. Or more you know compete. O come medal table. You never medal table no but organization the Moroccans and so for. Men find won't compare Brazzaville Maputo.
But you see us winning more medals.
Sure.
Me Enra. Me dimini obi din komo. Me catch and say you medals. I'm wrestling for never my medals. And I believe say and that's one by right no. So when the left no no yeah bankum dey no to my right no. And you benya more medals e wo honom. I'm wrestling the beti enim. But other disciplines ne dey
America.
Ona American yen je bebre. Beje be 1 2 3 bi e wo ho.
Boxing so koso.
I'm wrestling ne dey number akon ma 21 a. Oji 21 ka ho a. The point is say yam prepare ye athlete no performance ye train you ye. Me kokko hwe handball. Hwe goalkeeper ne boot ne kese e change so na kese enyomo mototo ma omo
o ko akwa de no the boot na akwa
no it's necessary because ene akade no mo de be ye triathlon for a certain rate no mo so mo akade no
mo ha de nice so
gay kete mo change the second keeper no buy me so buy ba ku bi ne chese ne traz ne kese I was there the game let me tell you and organization here how many people Nkrofo mo buy a bit hotel ha a bit bollega a bit bolleban boy I said tutum it's like we didn't prepare we had this from 2018 up to now like 6 years and this is all we can do Endra
but you go so course I mean
Mr. Bodi my yan can some in training pa Endra under 24 no boy
against Benin
Legon on your pitch no I can't do na so for and this is a new pitch and they hybrid abane on by you so you so aponcha ba je send na so for and they pitch into who pitch na baby edidedem and this is AD cameras and nobody try the amayo and to look at the state of the facilities in Paiwo
but the good thing is that also we did say medals
Rahosa say may find home compare Maputo and find home compare Brazzaville. Oh, had the big nations or Mogos from 2003 up to now. They've all won more than 100 medals. Nigeria more than 200.
Many Algerian badminton coach interactive. Maybe sound say games no one say I'll say I'm quoting him. It's the best he's seen so far in Africa.
Really?
Yes. The only thing he complained about is weather. But from where I sit, me jidi senke bet me never be brave. Not in a car about what time, but about even the LOC they've all admitted say there were issues with COVID funding. There was an impasse with Anoka, AUSC, and the other bodies. I think say Ninya contribute here. But Ubi Sami, I feel say we should look beyond these games.
Okay.
One, almost $200 million has been pumped into some of the facilities and even the game village as well. Ebema, the federations, the opportunity to get involved more. Make us say we should start planning for the next games in Egypt from today. Because Eric was see any excuse so that to know any facilities are able training. As Amate was so happy to train on that the track the track and they are poised to at least do something for us.
What they also would
oh yes, of course we'll win some medals, and then I'm wrestling of course I want to believe some boxing, but you see in the past years it's been weightlifting, it's been athletics, boxing. And we should build on our strength.
Wow. Right, people sorry,
just a second. Competition we on how we prepare our athletes for international competition. You feel new. Obi bicycle two bapai. Obi nya racket in farm. And how you feel?
Right.
This is how we prepare.
We share the athletics to be brain. You share the other disciplines to be brain. Benya kakra at the account. My man, Afredaka, yanko tokronimo. Ye kosi katokrom. Sikato krum me hone sikawo ne amoska kakra nsa na ya sori so my man Afredaka gina tokro mo hwese de na be kwa Afred so mo tokro mo ma me enne matches ben ade man na ya diska ansa na kwa no enne man tip ba kwa ansa na ya borwa mu.
All right Eriko, in the tips are me dey Emma ahwefo nyina over 1.5 over 1.5 over 1.5 Eriko tips bi a dodo na omofa o se eka keto bi na nka ade afa so amfa na Liverpool game we pan na one goal pen abey Eriko to imprem bebre omofa betting tips over 1.5 no research keto bi na omo nya na ema omo ho okire omo in the key no na ya ba be kire ewo ha say no bi ati ase
o kire mu 1.5 ninya emre.
Yes, 1.5 Nina AM the most easiest option I was sports betting.
Now the person we say next week memo akọ 1.5 for the mu bi mu. And then we need to ascend adena ye no. Eti ko matches ni mu ma me. And then matches ben na de man e wo
Eriko in the say me call matches ni ma. E wo sika tokro mu no. And I was screen so come.
First match day.
First match Fulham versus Tottenham Hotspur. You pick over 1.5.
Over 1.5. Now
the reason why I pick over 1.5 ni say recently Fulham home matches bia obobia or consider 2 or more goals. And at Tottenham Hotspur so away otimisha 2 or more goals. Recently on Aston Villa otimisha Aston Villa 4 goals.
Just
and to be yes on 9 FFO
over 1.5
pick over 1.5.
Now next game you then.
My next game Manchester City against Newcastle. And also you found Manchester City home win against Newcastle in the FA Cup. The reason being is that Manchester City recent 3 matches on my ball omo pick, they are scoring at a high pace. But Newcastle in your memu ayedin amomo omo tokro kra no masisa in your ma ahihiem and why ayedin Newcastle omo ne Chelsea
a cup game. And I have through cup.
Yes, Eriko with cup games no Manchester City a team here Guardiola on fan cup games whether cup games so whether on Ghana and ladies nebo on one there on the squad no but because of the pedigree maybe our certain standard ne drew into Newcastle omo and looking at Manchester City bench krano metimi aka say obi nyanka in starting 11
so
straight view for Manchester City. The next game is Sorendaski in the Denmark Division 1 league.
Denmark Division 1 league against Helsing Ghana. And this team no with the Division 1 league no Oyobia he needs to win this match to top the league. Okay.
And see you finally win either half.
Okay. And
win either half no Asiane say your first half, your second half. So team no on winning first half Emma which is the 45 minutes and now say second half on best time be winning Emma. And this is the case and for end to win either half na say. Say team na your shot na first half. Or share 1-0. Second half your boy we na 1-1 our bet na the den abo.
O dey say half no. On the share do a particular half.
And one on.
All right, next game you then.
Your next game ewo ho and also Chelsea versus Leicester City. And also you pick over 1.5.
Over 1.5.
The reason being is Chelsea sisi ono so onya bi share kakra Senegal ni onya ni shoe ni ye ase obobo goals ni boom. And Leicester City so or a team bia or consider in the championship no born and saying or consider goals, so over 1.5 is the best option. Your next game here Manchester United versus Liverpool. And this game we are there Liverpool with Mohamed Salah Wababaka on to me and boy a lot of matches no. I think say Klopp every man the time say on game win pass, so a lot of goals are going to happen in this game. So Toklo Apeke over 1.5.
Okay.
And your next game so Serbia. Because Serbian league name you will Restal Belgrade on a Ranek. Yes, or both here. And also Restal he needs to win this match hands down. Now leg no IND until Restal straight win for Restal.
Okay.
Now your next game no Erico see a better yeah they football. Ya ya ne sama bet ne dia. Until I say no your next game no Walter no game win volleyball.
Okay.
Volleyball.
It's a volleyball.
Volleyball. Yes. The country or Poland. Walter or Poland.
No, the home win.
And we have a home win.
Okay.
And volleyball no make them kakra. Volleyball no buy any time range be the ball volleyball no man a set near the ball. One set, second set up to the fifth set. Until I say obi 8 winning 3 or more sets now you declare as a winner.
A home win.
Yes, and a home win.
Next one.
Yeah, next one also a volleyball and also our France. And also a tourist volleyball team against Nazare. And also you have a home win for the tourist volleyball team. Your next game no Erico way so any football, any volleyball. Now so ice hockey. Ice hockey.
Ice hockey. Okay. Teams near to ice hockey.
Yes. Now teams near to ice hockey. You have average silver tips against the Kelowna Rockets. And this Kelowna Rockets no that was last week. And Omuma upset Kessie they are fan of not winning away matches.
And we can't remain
Kelowna Rockets no so and also Denmark. Now omo de enya ade a omo winning away game bia.
Wow.
Yes, your team no this a new team ayate. Oh my be winning away match. Until your last game
but one.
Your last but one Sheffield Steelers on in Nottingham Panthers. And also England and also your ice hockey league born in England and also you choose home win. Rico.
Wow.
This is the odd.
How many odds?
You are presented 7.5 odds per time and now per betting platform also and no odds are obey the body ubenya edi.
Wow.
Into when Sikato Chrome Edeba was sports arena so ama ya hwefo nyina
na ma at the end of that screen so na watch no matches na no you so Adom TV social media platforms the better so ho after watade na fa image we na Ghana month na ye di ne yi pa at image we na hye nyina ya tade kama na tum say Ghana bobo so boy na de mante ho efe pa abuso sports arena second last words nyanko last words
ma fanya birthday wish
okay
Abdurrahim Jibrila madam for pene ni birthday na minkofo bi hwehwe hohoi
there
and of course
okay
any host of lockdown plus FM
all right last words nyanko
I think this is the first show so more beautiful content ahead. I wish everybody well.
Of course, social media image where Instagram baby image where GH. I'm gonna share atade na kama ya de etna sports arena so and any minute de bia non do pay money de jumade ade ebrewo hu afraka so no so de sikato krum ebrewo next week you bet see mu yi pa mo say the TSJ one to producer Sarah and director head of sports professor Ike Wallace wana ojina de hwese bibia betimi akoye vipa akwa Sarah my man Mustafa Ajedin one also can and edit my dear bro. Now, of course, the set designers and Roman now my share. I be come next week. I'll be who send a chance. Pressure, I what Juma as I show you about camera, baby elephant, Montese, and it will be a Bujma pa. And our kind of Nankasa can catch one home. Eric, I see you do body next week. Yamia do not be doing your best. Sports are in a knee. Yakao.